12 News celebrating an impressive feat. We meet the Robbinsdale Little League team who can call themselves state champs. Plus, concern about too many unnecessary hospital visits.
I'm a firm believer that the 911 paramedic is a very reactive model.
What North Memorial is doing to prevent trips to the emergency room. But first, remembering a longtime Crystal Police employee who helped others in difficult times.
No one is going to be able to fill her shoes.
12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. The Crystal Police Department is mourning the loss of one of its longest-serving employees.
Susan Carstens was the juvenile specialist for the department for 35 years, and she passed away last week after a long battle with cancer. Cassie Bonstrom has more on the lady who meant so much to local youth.
Now that her office sits empty, Lieutenant Doug Leslin is taking over a very important job.
She told me to fill it till it's gone.
The candy jar that Susan Carstens filled for 35 years, a way to entice colleagues to stop and chat, will never go empty.
She was just so well liked, and her work ethic is second to none.
Filling the candy jar is just one way the Crystal Police Department is honoring Carstens, a civilian employee who spent more than 3 decades helping troubled youth in the city, connecting them with resources and steering them away from the court system.
I just can't imagine how many people in the community she's helped.
Resident Sean Smith was one of the teens who Carstens helped after he committed some petty crimes like shoplifting in the late 80s and early 90s.
So she was my first interaction with a police department.
Years ago, he was also caught throwing a party while his parents were out of town.
Instead of arresting all my friends and arresting me for providing alcohol to all my friends, instead she, told me about the liability that my parents have, the liability that if something would have happened at my house or my parents' house and somebody got injured. So rather than, going through the court system, she helped me and kind of taught me.
In addition to the kids and families, Carstens also looked after many vulnerable adults.
She would make sure they had food and that they had heat and electricity. She's even arranged for their driveways to be plowed out and took them, to get groceries or doctor's appointments.
Her commitment to the community never wavered, even after a cancer diagnosis several years ago.
Same Susan. She didn't miss a beat. She'd still come to work every day.
And as the condolences pour in on the police department's Facebook page, her colleagues realize just how big the hole is that she left behind.
No one is going to be able to fill her shoes. And I think the whole department feels that way.
The funeral for Carstens is Wednesday at 12:30 at the Plymouth Congregational Church. It is open to the public. And Mike and Alex, it's nice to see other departments stepping up in a time of need. The New Hope and the Robbinsdale Police Departments, they are going to cover the city tomorrow so that all of the Crystal officers can attend her funeral.
Great gesture. Thanks a lot, Cassie. Brooklyn Park Police are stepping up efforts to find a man who assaulted a 16-year-old girl while she was riding her bike. Police say it happened Sunday night on a path near Edenbrook Park. The man pushed the girl off her bike and touched her inappropriately before running off after a car drove by. Police are passing out flyers to neighbors in the area.
It's certainly an isolated case. We have nothing like this anywhere in the recent past that's even related to this, but it's concerning. I would absolutely say that we have extra patrols up there. We have multiple investigators working on this case, and on all fronts we're trying to resolve this.
The assailant is described as a middle-aged to older white man about 6 feet tall and 200 pounds with scars on his face and a deep-sounding voice. He was wearing a dark hooded sweatshirt and basketball shorts. If you have any information, you're urged to call 911. Brooklyn Park is getting a new grocery store.
After weeks of discussion, the City Council gave the go-ahead to a Hy-Vee. A 96,000 square foot Hy-Vee is planned for Highway 610 and Zane Avenue. It will include a restaurant, gas station, and drive-through coffee shop. The Brooklyn Park store could create as many as 625 jobs, 125 of them full-time. Councilmember Rich Gates, however, voted against the plan. He says he doesn't believe it fits the city's vision for high-paying jobs along the 610 corridor.
We've talked about this being a high-paying job, a very nice-looking area, business parks, business campuses, and this is not.
Gates believes the area has enough grocery stores. The rest of the Hy-Vee site does call for a business park with possible high-tech clients.
Next month, a new city manager will take over in Brooklyn Park. Jay Strobel has been involved with city operations in Minneapolis for the past 10 years.
Been heavily involved in the city's community engagement efforts, heavily involved in working with neighborhoods, and so I bring that experience as well to Brooklyn Park.
Strobel hopes to lead Brooklyn Park through new development opportunities, specifically around Highway 610. He also aims to improve upon the work Brooklyn Park has done to engage the community.
Identifying ways of contributing to continue that momentum that Brooklyn Park has in terms of improving the city image for a place where businesses want to come to Brooklyn Park, stay in Brooklyn Park, and grow in Brooklyn Park. But then also, similarly for residents as well, that Brooklyn Park is a destination where people want to move to, that they can raise a family.
Strobel starts his new job on August 24th.
A new political season is kicking off today as local candidates began filing for office. In the Northwest Metro, Golden Valley Mayor Shep Harris and Councilmember Joni Clausen both filed for re-election. Golden Valley voters will decide on the mayor and 2 council positions in November. School board members in the Anoka-Hennepin, Brooklyn Center, Wayzata, and Hopkins districts are also up for election.
With nearly 2 inches of rain falling this morning, this has been the wettest July since 1997. For local golf courses, it's a big change from what can be a hot, dry month.
Normally this time of July, things are turning brown on the edges where the irrigation doesn't hit. Usually we hardly get a rain, or if we do, it's only 1/10 of an inch or 2/10 of an inch at a time.
But this year, the weather station at Edinburgh Golf Course has recorded more than 6 inches of rain for the month. Since the course underwent a $2 million refurbishing, low spots and bunkers are draining better.
We put in a new liner system that lets the water percolate through some rocks, and we don't get the washouts on the bunkers that we used to.
The changes mean the course is playable quicker even after a big rain like this morning. Coming up, preventing costly hospital visits, how paramedics are taking a proactive role.
And later in sports, get set for the 3M Championship Golf Tournament. We'll have a preview.
But first, some relief from the humidity. It will feel much more comfortable on Wednesday.
A recent study shows a trip to the emergency room is not only costly, it could be preventable.
The Minnesota Department of Health study shows potentially preventable visits added up to nearly $2 billion. In today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland looks at a program designed to limit ER visits.
It's the start of the workday for Dale Pompu.
We're going to go visit Brad.
For this community paramedic, his duties will take him away from North Memorial's Golden Valley Clinic.
We're working with the doctors at the clinic level to try and get to those patients ahead of time.
And to North Minneapolis.
And make sure they're doing okay at home. Hey, Brad, how's it going, buddy?
For a face-to-face visit at the home of one of his patients.
The emergency department's flagged Brad as coming in frequently.
During this home visit with Brad, Dale does everything from checking his blood pressure,
not having any dizziness issues today,
to asking about his recent medical issues. It's all part of North Memorial's community paramedicine program, which is aimed at keeping people like Brad on their doctor-recommended care plan and out of the emergency room.
Because he doesn't need it. He just needs to track how often his seizures are and watch his medication levels.
Dale makes these visits with patients up to 8 times a day.
Brad?
The program is nearly 3 years old, and so far they say it's working well.
We've absolutely seen a reduction in emergency department use in the population that we're impacting, that we're seeing.
Pete Carlson is the community paramedic supervisor.
So the whole goal of what we do is to get referrals from primary care physicians and then also from the emergency department for patients who may overutilize or misutilize, and then align them with primary care.
He says the emergency department at North Memorial can be a busy place.
We'll get you back to...
But by monitoring patients with chronic health problems...
We're definitely going to be a part of that solution.
You're my buddy.
The patients can avoid those costly and time-consuming visits to the emergency department.
Thanks, Brad.
You're walking well, Chucky.
In Minneapolis, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
North Memorial officials say they have plans to expand the community paramedicine program to rural settings as well. Coming up, meet the Robbinsdale Little League team who can call themselves state champs.
But first, we catch up with former Osseo hockey star Sam Windle in the next level. John Jacobson is in next. Get ready for some pretty good golf here in the North Metro. Some old pros are coming back, and they can still do it.
It's going to be a good weekend of golf, I think, and nice weather hopefully too. The old pros are back in the North Metro this week at the 3M Championship Golf Tournament. I caught up with Tournament Director Hollis Kavner for a preview, starting with the Pro-Am events.
We have 2 Pro-Ams today, one here and one off-site, and then we have 2 tomorrow, 2 the next day, and then one on Friday. And that's actually more than anybody else in the country has. And we have enough of demand in Minnesota with the corporate support that we need to do that many. It wears everybody out, though. I can tell you the players are all exhausted by week's end, but those Pro-Ams are really what fuel this thing, and that's what allows us to not charge and to let people come out here free. I mean, it really does. The corporate support is really what makes it work.
Tell me about the charity aspect and how important that is and how much you'll give away this year.
This is, we'll do a minimum of 1.3. We know we already got to have that in the bank. Charity this is all about charity. We have a great time here. We put on a great event. It's huge, but this was all focused around. It's great entertainment, but every dollar we raise, goes to hospitals, goes to junior golf. Community support, it's $1.3 million. We're real close to getting up to $25 million in the community since we started the tournament, and that's actually a PGA Tour Champions Tour record. Nobody else is even close to those numbers.
Let me ask you about the tournament itself. Kenny Perry back, and tell me about your field for this year.
I have a very strong field. We've got Kenny Perry, Tom Lehman, all those guys are here. Just saw Tom Kite in the locker room. All the big names are here for us, and really excited about that. Lee Jansen, 2-time U.S. Open winner, first time he's ever played here, coming in. We're going to have a good week.
Edinburgh USA pro Don Barry of Brooklyn Park will play in the 3M tournament after qualifying today. Barry shot a 2-under-par round of 69 to tie for third at Victory Links Golf Course in Blaine. 3 teams from the area are gearing up for the State American Legion Baseball Tournament. Play starts Friday at 4 sites. In first-round action, Maple Grove takes on Tri-City Red at 1 p.m. at Edina's Braemar Field. Champlin Park and Wayzata are both at the main site at Chanhassen. Champlin Park meets Hutchinson at 10 a.m., followed by Wayzata against host Chanhassen at 1 o'clock. Each team will play again Friday, win or lose. The tournament runs through Monday. We'll hear from the local teams over the next 2 days on 12 Sports. Maple Grove native Sam Windle went from Osseo High School to Bemidji State, where he was a standout defenseman for the Beavers and graduated this last spring. This fall, Windle will play professional hockey for the Reading Royals of the East Coast Hockey League. Jason Mullo profiles Windle in this week's The Next Level.
Over 4 years at Bemidji State, Sam Windle adapted to the college level. His game evolved, and eventually Windle excelled, albeit as a very different kind of player than he was at Osseo.
It's a bit different from old high school hockey where I could skate around a lot of guys. I kind of had to develop my game, and with my size, I turned into more of a defensive specialist. So hopefully I carry that on and just be a big stay-at-home defender and hit a lot of guys too.
He takes pride in stopping the other team. I mean, a lot of other guys want to be that guy scoring goals or getting points and this and that. Sam wants to be that guy blocking shots, killing penalties. He wants to be that guy, and teams need those guys.
Windle is that defenseman who makes an impact every game, though you rarely see his name in the box score. Windle scored a total of 3 goals in 4 seasons for the Beavers, but in his senior year, led the nation in block shots.
Sam Windle puts Bemidji State in the saddle.
Windle's 1 goal as a senior was memorable, though. He scored in Bemidji's semifinal win over Duluth at the North Star Cup in St. Paul. The Beavers went on to win the championship game over then top-ranked Minnesota State Mankato.
That was really fun skating at the XL Energy Center. We never got there in high school for the state tournament, so that was a really cool experience.
Windle graduated from Bemidji State last spring, but his hockey career will continue. Windle signed with the Reading Royals of the East Coast Hockey League and will report to training camp in September.
Obviously, I just want to play in the NHL. Been playing hockey my whole life, and I don't want to give up on it yet, so hopefully I can get there in a few years.
Jason Malillo, 12 Sports.
As fate would have it, Sam Windle won't be the only member of his family chasing a professional sports career in Reading, Pennsylvania. Sam's twin brother Tom is currently a pitcher for the Class AA Reading Fighting Phils. We'll have a little, a great family reunion out there out east.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, Victory Robbinsdale Little Leaguers will remember for a long time.
Sonia Goins catches up with the team that can call themselves state champs.
The Robbinsdale Little League 11-year-old All-Stars are still celebrating from a big weekend.
They are state champs, and reporter Sonia Goins talked with the team about their victories.
It's pretty surreal when it's all said and done. It takes a while for it all to settle in.
The 11-year-old All-Stars are district and state champions.
The first one here is medals we won for being the district champion. This here is the state medal that we won here last week in Duluth.
The win Sunday against Duluth Lake Park is still sinking in.
You know, they don't get any days off. You have to play every day. You have to win every game. All right, so first here we have Philip Ponce.
Today, some of the All-Star teammates gather to remember their road to victory.
Orrin Hinkle, Nelson Ponce, and Seth Vielander.
In district and state tournament play, the team had to move up from the losing bracket, which meant they had to win every game.
It's do or die at that point. You know, you're on the elimination every single day, and you go through all the memories. Every player had a championship moment somewhere in this tournament, whether it be in districts or state.
I'll remember this my entire life.
Philip is a catcher. He's also known as the home run king.
It's actually unbelievable that I hit 12 home runs in one season. I never think I'll hit that much home runs in one season.
I had a single and a double off fielder's choice to score 2 runs for the go-ahead run.
Orrin Hinkle plays shortstop and pitcher.
I was feeling pumped.
He also hit over 800 for the entire tournament.
And I jammed into the first base.
And he played with a fractured finger.
I was too focused on the game that it really hurt.
I hit a 3-run home run, and that got everybody pumped up. After that, all the bats started coming around.
Nelson plays third base and pitches.
I got emotional. I was ready to cry.
I struck out 3 people. 2 of them were high pitches, and they were really high, and they struck out on those.
Seth Vielander is the closer. He sealed the deal in the final inning.
Our coaches kept saying that we're like brothers, and we always got our backs.
We love baseball, but we're trying to build character. We're trying to build confidence. We're trying to teach life lessons. Yep. And how fun is it that we were able to do that and win a championship? Yeah.
In Robbinsdale, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
They should feel pumped,
They
right?
should be, that's
the
right.
All-Star team will participate in the Wood Bat tournament this weekend in Robbinsdale, so congratulations to them. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.